I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. And the question that needs to be answered today is, why do movies suck? Now, I know I'm no Francis Ford Coppola, Sergio Leone, or Martin Scorsese, and if you don't know those names, you need to go buy another comic book and continue to not use deodorant. I'm not saying movies are not entertaining, but we have gotten to this place where those life-changing, insight-giving, holy crap, I gotta talk about this movie to everyone I know movies are few and far between. I think the last movie I saw that stunned me, that took my legs out from under me and made me rethink my opinions and rattled my soul was American History X. And when I say rethink my opinions, I don't mean I was a Nazi and I changed my mind. You know, movies do a lot. They take you to different places, make you see things you can't imagine, and make you believe in things that don't exist. They also get you lost in a story and make you love and hate characters. You lose yourself, but when you think where we are as compared to the films of the past, we have definitely lost our way. I mean, come on. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Frightening, hilarious, courageous, and heartbreaking. Godfather. You get lost in a world you never knew existed. Apocalypse Now. Holy hell. So good, so creepy, so crazy. That movie will give you nightmares. The horror. The horror. There are super amazing, groundbreaking, iconic films from 1970 to about 1981. Alien, Animal House, Deer Hunter, Jaws, Star Wars, Rocky, The Exorcist, Deliverance. Those were badass movies that you got lost in. Now, unless you do a movie where you live in a suit with rockets in the ass, we really don't care anymore. No one rattles cages with movies anymore. We become a society that likes to think it's edgy and out there, but we're not. We're kind of pussies. The 80s killed movies that made you think. Raging Bull and Do the Right Thing aside, the 80s is a wrecking yard of furry gremlins, Bueller Day Off ripoffs, and going back to the future to a place where goofy and silly replace gravitas and serious. You know, I love to be entertained, but after seeing basically the same movie with the same structure but different superhero underwear, I want to see something new. Is it possible? Can there be any new way to sit in the theater and have your ass handed to you so you go see that movie twice? Remember those days when you went back to the theater the next day because it was so good? The 90s came back hard, though. I'll admit that. Matrix 7, Fight Club, Sixth Sense, Big Lebowski, Pulp Fiction and 7 changed movies again. But where are we today? Even Tarantino is copying himself. Are we all doomed to watch superhero movies until we die? Avengers 15, Batman 35? Look back to the movies over the last 40 years and you'll be sorely disappointed in the last 15 years. Please, rattle my soul again, movie makers. I'm making my first one and I need some inspiration. And if my movie sucks, I'm blaming you hacks! I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Hey everybody, Christopher Titus Podcast. I'm a little amped about movies. With me, as always, to the right, Bombshell Rae.
What's up, people?
It's kind of rushy today, isn't it? We're kind of rushy. We're kind of on a ragged edge of getting stuff done.
Of everything.
Well, we're in the middle of pre-production, and we got a theater tour coming up, and we got a gig tonight. Stop crying. Stop crying. Stop crying. There's no crying in show business.
There's a lot of crying in show business.
That is true.
I have learned
but
that.
it's usually by yourself in a room after an audition. It's not just random open crying. Although I've worked with some actresses that would literally on the set just cry.
No way.
Yeah. I always thought it was manipulative. How can you trust an actor? Like, whatever they do, you can't trust an actor.
Nightmare.
Right. You can't. Well,
it's not an actor. It's an actress, right? Have you ever had an actor cry?
Besides me?
Oh, yeah. That was a given.
Okay, yeah, because I have cried. But I usually go to my dressing room. They hate me. Why does everybody not like me here?
The ghost of Ken Titus.
Yes, it is. Yes, and my father's voice continuing pounding, "You suck, asshole," in my head. Not in the English accent.
It's the worst ghost ever.
I know. So, I've seen some actors get crazy.
But no men?
You know, I've seen them be jerks. Men usually go anger. Men usually go to a weird place of like, I'm running stuff here. I'm not doing this crap. Like you can always tell an actor gets. That's me, by the way.
I was going to say, I just heard you again.
Yeah, that won't be bad. In the background, by the way, Fetus. Hey. There you go. That was perfect. Hey, that was.
He actually sounds a little on the edge too. Did you hear that?
Oh, yeah. He's got me yelling at him. Well, here's the thing. So about movies, guys. I want to talk about movies a little bit today because we started making one, and I after spending a couple of weeks in pre-production, I wanted to say to every producer I've ever worked with, I'm so sorry. Whatever I did, whatever I asked for, whatever I wanted done the way I wanted it done, I am so sorry. Oh, my God. It's one of the hardest things. I tweeted out, making independent film was like getting 35 different companies who don't know each other to make a bunch of parts to make one machine. And by the way, while they're making those parts, they're drunk on tequila. It's like so
But
hard.
like bad, dirty Mexico tequila.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Not,
Right.
It was made locally in a bathtub where they don't have running water.
And the water was taken
yeah,
from a sewer.
Exactly.
Yeah,
a Mexican sewer.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
to specify.
Wow, let's go. And that's Bombshell being mildly racist.
No, I just mean, have you ever been, that's not racist. Have you ever been to Mexico and
No,
had their water?
you did, though.
Yeah,
You almost
obviously,
died.
by my reaction.
Yeah, you almost died.
I shit my liver. I vomited my kidneys and my urethra. It shouldn't. Your urethra should never be in your throat.
Yeah, you don't have one, by the way. Don't you?
Exactly.
You don't have one.
There you go.
No, you don't have
It should never come out of my throat.
Because my uterus is sore.
Ureter.
So let me ask you something. Why did you drink the water in Mexico if you knew the water in Mexico sucked?
No, here's the thing. Here's what you have to get. The water is so bad that I knew I couldn't drink the water, so I was buying canned things and bottled water and stuff like that. But I was on a pilgrimage, they were calling it. It's this lady that owned all these agave fields.
Just because you tour strip clubs, that's not a pilgrimage. Just because you were dancing in Mexico, that doesn't make it a pilgrimage.
It's not.
No.
What if I was dressed as a pilgrim before I
No,
stripped?
there might be. Come see the pilgrimage. I could see that on the sign. Then we're fine.
So anyway, we were visiting her agave field. So we were in the backwoods. We actually rode on a bus with chickens, like in Romancing the Stone. See how I tied that into a movie?
Very nice.
And it was with the music. It was crazy. It was awful. These towns had no running water.
There's only one song in Mexico.
We would-
Ole.
It's actually exactly the same in Greek, but they say opa.
Yeah, right. Same song.
So anyway, the people, we would go to their houses and they wash the vegetables in the water. They make the iced tea, the lemonade, whatever, with the water.
Can you give me some poop water to wash these vegetables so I can make them clean for the people to eat? They're on a pilgrimage. She is hot.
Well, what?
She danced for pesos.
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, so that was it. It was a rough week, let's just say. It was a really rough week. I finally found a grocery store that served Wonder Bread or had Wonder Bread in a jar of Jif peanut butter that actually was imported from the U.S. I checked, and that's what I ate the rest of the time.
You just kept it like peanut butter and white bread.
I should say that's what I
By the way,
vomited.
that's our cop show, peanut butter and white bread.
I'm definitely the peanut butter.
You are definitely
I
peanut
think everyone
butter.
knew that.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Peanut butter. We got a case.
Sorry. I know I'm supposed to be improving, but
You got nothing.
kind of loved that you just called me peanut butter. There was something inside of me as a woman that went,
My captain's always going, white bread, get in here.
peanut butter.
Peanut butter. Let's roll.
That's the scene.
roll.
Every time you say peanut butter, and peanut butter just laughs. That's all peanut butter does the whole show.
Damn, my white bread, this your partner's an idiot. Peanut butter, talk to the captain.
That's the whole show.
Peanut butter and white bread. Coming soon. Because Fox has finally run out of ideas.
They did a while
That was
ago.
a long time ago. So, yeah, movies. I was looking at movies because we're doing this one, and I thought, I had this vibe. We went and saw The Revenant. People, and you can get on the mic on this, Titus, if you want to listen. You guys want to talk? No, because we're with someone. Okay, there's Doug Benson has a great podcast called Doug Loves Movies. We could call Rachel Hates Movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I have my favorite line from that movie.
What's your favorite line from The Revenant? Now, wait, let's describe it. So, Revenant is this guy. This guy basically he's a trapper fur guy, and they get attacked by Indians, which that opening scene is crazy. And then he's in the woods, and they bury him because they think he's dead, and he's not dead. And he survives in the cold, and then he spends like 4 months trying to get back to find the guys that killed him. And he's cold all the time. So, what was your favorite line from the movie?
And I feel like this is going to be an all-time classic movie quote.
Right.
Holy shit! 3 hours of.
Do you know
like
what?
die already, like die or get there. And then finally, you can shake your head. Then he gets there 2 hours later. He finally gets there. Congratulations on actually doing your job.
2 hours and like 37 minutes.
And then he goes back out. He leaves again and goes back into the woods to do something else.
You're
that he
missing an
shouldn't have
important
done.
plot point in your summary, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's looking for the guy that killed his son.
Killed his son,
Yeah,
too,
not
yeah.
him. He's like,
Fact, actually,
he killed the guy that killed her.
Well,
He killed the bear.
By the way-
Technically,
by the way, that bear-
technically, He didn't kill the bear, did he? Oh, yeah, he
Yeah,
did
he
kill the bear.
did. He killed the shit out of that
Technically,
bear.
though, the first hour and a half, he was already failing miserably at his job, and his son didn't get killed until a good time into the movie.
Yes.
So the first hour and a half of was not because he was avenging a death. It was pointless.
They were together. It wasn't like that wasn't difficult. I see, and this is what I'm going to talk about movies. I appreciate what they did with Revenant. I appreciate that they found the coldest place on the planet at minus 30.
They also treated their crew like shit.
And filmed an hour a day in natural light. I'm sure that the movie company, I'm sure that people in Hollywood and the executives weren't just banging their heads off of metal poles going, what are we doing?
The executives were going,
Yeah, they were like
for a different reason.
yeah, they were making
well,
us.
I mean, honestly, if you think about it, you said it's not like that, or one of you said something stupid like the movie's not like that. They're actually together and talking. But he was a large part of that movie. He was alone in the freezing cold by himself.
Right.
Yes.
So there was nothing else to say, but like there was no dialogue.
She really hated it.
I bet that screenplay was like 40 pages long.
Of course, it actually just
He's
said skip
cold.
to page
Yeah.
72.
Still cold. Walks up mountain. Still cold.
Think about what he had to do. It was all action. Think about what he had to create all
Well,
of that. So
that's
I
why
give
you
him
have to
points
give it
for
a- yeah.
acting.
Yeah.
That's what she
Because
said when
I
she walked out.
believed he was cold, and then I found out
He's
he was
fucking
actually cold.
He was actually really
And
cold.
then I didn't like him as much. I
He
thought,
did eat a bison liver, though. That bison liver was real.
And it was actually real.
And that was
cute.
the- and
He
that was
really
the first
puked.
take.
Actually, really
the raw
puked.
one.
Yeah, that was real.
Yeah, they
Raw-
made a gelatin one, and even DiCaprio said this doesn't look real enough. Which, by the way, I don't think. Here's okay. So
He's a
here's,
vegetarian too.
Oh.
When he ate that.
there's an amazing balance that we need to find in films. Now, I really do love movies. I've seen when I first moved to LA, they had this program at there was something called the Warehouse, and you could rent. That's where you bought DVDs and cassette tapes. That's '88.
Whoa.
I think you still get a cassette tape, and
That was the same year you bought the VCR that was actually cinder blocks in the box, right?
yeah, we'll talk about that's another day.
Oh, boy.
that's
But
a long story.
that's
That
an
would
era
help-
of
that-
VCR tapes and cassette.
Yeah, where you could get a top of the line VCR. Like a top of the line was like $1,100. So
What?
yeah,
Oh my god.
fetus. So I rented 600 movies because I was comic and I was home all the time. So I rented 600 movies in 1 year, and I was on this point system, so I got the stereo because of it. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I got this big component stereo. It was full on, and then they discontinued the program after they realized this motherfucker. We just spent $2,500 on the stereo, and we gave this dude, and he only rented 600 movies at $1 a piece. So if you look at the deal, that is, it was $1 a day. I rented 600 movies, took them back, cost me $600. I got a $2,500 stereo. So I did pretty good on that one. And I wish I could have eaten the stereo because that's when I first moved to LA and I had no money. I like movies like Deliverance. When you look at the old movies, the 70s was this weird, amazing era of movies. Jaws, if you look at what came out in the 70s, it changed movies. It changed it.
It's so
Deliverance?
true.
Deliverance?
Really, we're using Deliverance as a...
Don't you love that movie?
No. You loved that movie?
I love that
Who
movie.
loves that movie?
I mean,
no
I
one
wouldn't say-
watches
love
that.
is a really
It is
strong
a
Right?
word.
great movie. John
being,
Voight,
being a great movie and loving a movie are two totally
Deer
different
Hunter.
things.
Deer Hunter.
Citizen Kane is a great movie. I would never say I love that movie.
Come on, Godfather. You've never seen the Godfather.
Everyone watched
Here is how
Deliverance.
much
seen
Rachel
The
hates
Godfather.
movies.
And got uncomfortable.
She's never seen the Godfather.
I haven't not seen it because I hate movies. I never saw it because I had a life and I was really busy. And they're
It's a
very
mo-
long and I had shit to do.
You watch 90 Hallmark movies, which
Now,
are,
but that's
which are
because
the
my mom got
same
cancer.
movies.
Here's what I do with
what?
Hallmark. Here's what happened. My mom got cancer, and so I needed something to comfort me. Prior to that, and still my favorite movies, are thriller movies / horror. Like I love Seven. That's probably one of my all-time favorite movies. That's how
That
you
might
do
be
a
a movie.
movie.
Very good.
That's brilliant, right? Talk about changing the movie
Pulp
landscape.
Fiction.
Pulp Fiction, brilliant movie.
Training Day.
I love Training Day, but it's not in my top 5, but I do appreciate it and enjoy it.
Right. But I would say why Spotless Mind.
Eternal Sunshine. of the Spotless
Eternal
Mind.
Sunshine, another movie that you
yeah.
just go.
Excellent.
Easy to watch. So many guys, some people make movies and they make these movies that are hard to sit through. You're like, I get what you're doing, but Jesus Christ, entertain me also. That's what The Godfather does. The best movies, Deliverance. Say what you want about that
No.
scene. It's entertaining.
The squeal like a pig scene?
It's one scene.
It is the whole movie once you see the scene.
Well,
Yeah.
no, it's not.
It's
not.
like a guy saying, I only blew a guy once, but I'm not gay. It's actually exactly like that.
What?
It is that.
They got raped by rednecks.
Same thing.
Okay.
Squeal like a pig. Boy, who can move past that? Who can say, you know what, this was a great
The whole movie,
movie.
these guys in the thing, they're hunting and they end up it's a great movie. It's a great movie.
But seriously, put that up against Seven. Fight Club, probably my
That's
number
another
2
one.
movie.
Now these, okay. By the way,
good.
so here the '80s almost killed movies. I want you to know the '80s almost killed movies, and I think right now we're back in that era.
I'm arguing against the 70s.
It's funny
as
because
well.
No, '70s were great. It's Jaws. Yes. I can go down the list. You want me to go down the list? Yes.
Sure.
No. They made
Yes, no.
the '70s
Star
made
Wars.
7 possible. Star Wars. Yeah, class. Oh, come on. Then we had the '80s. The only 2 good movies: Raging Bull and Do the Right Thing in the '80s. It's the only 2 movies I think that actually were entertaining, interesting to watch, and also had a point.
Howard the Duck. That was a
I will
brilliant
kill you if you bring up that movie
really
again.
bad movie.
It was horrible.
It's one of
That
the
movie
worst
was
things.
particularly special to me, close
Why?
to my heart, because my parents were still together, so they were still like life fun Nazis while they were still together. And my sister turned 15, and when she was 15, she was allowed to go on dates as long as she took me. And when she was 16, she was allowed to go on dates on her own. So talk about my parents knew nothing was happening with me there, but I was so excited. I was dating all of a sudden. So if she was 15, I was 8. And I had a big perm, and I'd put big bows on top of my perm.
Chet, you
and
gotta send my son out with me.
exactly. Think
When
about what a
Kenny's
buzzkill
15,
that is. She's not doing anything physical if he's there.
Jet's going on dates.
I just want to let you know that I have a list of '80s movies that
Hold
are actually
on,
very
this is
good.
way more important. And if you're on the mic, then you don't get to talk over either of us.
Oh, you
Fair.
have to wait.
So-
He says it.
So I would go on these dates, and I just I felt like I was dating, and I would quaff my
Maybe that's a
my
bad thing.
bouffant. I would everything. I was and my
You were a
sister.
proud black woman.
I was a proud black woman. My sister hated it, and I would be like, "We're going on a date." And my very first date, when I was 8, was Howard the Duck.
Wow, 8. Your mom made the boyfriend take you at 8 years old.
What are we
on a
doing?
date.
What are you guys doing in the front seat?
Yeah.
Where are we going? I can't wait to go. Can I have popcorn? Can I have goobers? I mean, that was me. I even remember.
We're doing this to my daughter.
Oh yeah, I'm in.
My son is now. This is great. When she starts dating 15, Jet will be 12.
Oh boy.
He gets to go. He gets to go. Oh, he'll be so annoying. Oh,
At the height of annoying.
Oh, this is so good. I
It is
gotta
the
hug
height.
I gotta hug your mom again. That's such a great idea.
Okay, what is it?
I just have some '80s movies.
Okay.
Since you said
No.
'80s is a bad decade.
The 80s screwed up movies until the 90s came
Wasn't
around.
E.T. the 80s?
You have E.T., Ghostbusters,
Crap.
Go
Raiders,
Ghostbusters.
Raiders of the Lost
Crap.
Ark,
What?
Blade Runner,
I'm trying to make a different point about this.
Did you just
Blade
call
Runner.
E.T.?
Blade Runner. Yes. Blade
Oh
Runner.
my
Yes.
God.
The Shining,
Yes.
The Thing.
No.
The
The one with Kurt Russell.
yeah,
Oh,
It's
we just
okay.
watched that.
It was all right.
You told me
Okay.
it was
The
good.
Karate
good.
Kid, The Goonies,
Epic.
Poltergeist,
See, all these movies, the Poltergeist.
Okay,
was
wait.
good.
Did you just say E.T.
And
was crap?
Die
I'll tell
Hard.
you why.
Terminator.
Oh, Die Hard.
Die
You
Hard.
love
Okay,
Die Hard.
That's maybe 4 in the whole 80s that you listed. that I
Breakfast
liked.
Club.
Breakfast
But that's
Club.
another part of the problem. Some of these movies that we all like were part of the problem. Because what these movies did was they took all the edge out of movies. Breakfast Club, no edge in it. No, it's a bunch of kids in a fucking classroom. No edge. Gremlins, no edge at all. E.T., no edge at all. They're just, all of a sudden we lost the auteurs of the 70s where I like the movies like, even like a Midnight Cowboy, where you're entertained. It's in a weird world, and then you have all these movies and that's what we have today. We have this weird kind of pablum, nothing really happening movies where it's just wee.
I think how I'm interpreting it is in the '70s you had movies that were critically acclaimed, but also the popular movies
And
that
amazing and
everyone saw.
entertaining,
Yes.
and like
Whereas
and you were
in the-
Jaws scared the living shit out of me. My brother, years after Jaws was out, he was a kid where it was coming on TV and it started and went voo, 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 and my dad went bah, and he cried for 2 hours, ran to him and cried. It was great.
Your brother?
Yeah, Dave. He couldn't. He was so scared to watch Jaws. He'd heard so much about it that before the opening credits are over, my dad scared him
It's
so
funny
bad.
because now you watch it and it's like, oh.
No, it's still pretty scary.
No way.
Yeah, you're wrong. It's still pretty scary. I did watch it recently, thinking just what you said. I thought, okay, this is not going to hold up, and it held up. But other things don't. I don't think E.T. holds up. But Deliverance holds up. Midnight Cowboy holds up. Jaws holds up.
I cannot believe that you keep putting Deliverance
Blade
in
Runner.
the same
Blade
category
Runner holds up.
It does.
as all these
Making a
other
sequel to that.
movies.
They're finally making a sequel.
Yeah, and Harrison Ford's gonna be in it.
Which one?
Blade Runner? Yeah.
How are you putting?
Rocky holds up. The Exorcist holds up.
Sci-fi has a hard time holding up because of the state of visual effects. Like that's why E.T.'s kind of hokey.
But even that, E.T. by the way is a great movie. I remember going to see it. I'm saying that I was just looking over the 4 decades since the 70s, and you know what? Do you know what? We've kind of got this weird. Everything that is good is light. There's no The Revenant is kind of it's not, but it doesn't have that weird darkness. It's just it's a simple story.
The problem is
Yep.
that
People don't
want to
watch smart movies.
hate
7
movies, and so I don't hate them. I just dislike them. Although you just listed a lot that I really like, but we went and saw Revenant, and then prior to that, we saw the Hateful Eight.
Right.
And that I was so frustrated by that movie. And I'm a big Quentin Tarantino fan, but I'm more like old school Quentin Tarantino before it was just weird
Reservoir
for
Dogs,
weird
Pulp
sakes.
Fiction.
Yes, but like this stuff, I'm like, what the heck? Like again, 3 hours in one room. We got it. Everybody's head explodes. You did that in the last 5 movies. There was no point. You wasted my time. Yes, there's a guy blowing a guy scene. Perfect. We've hit all the Tarantino highlights, and now I've just wasted 3 hours of my life.
But Django and Inglourious Bastards
Inglourious
were
Bastards
still
were
different.
great.
They were very different.
Yeah, they were. But I would say with Hateful Eight, I was like,
wasn't
all
different.
the same Tarantino crap.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. The same thing. Almost to the point where I almost like, can you not have Sam Jackson in a movie just once?
I thought he was great. Though,
He's great,
but he was the same character.
He's great.
Yeah.
But Tarantino's brilliant. I'm not going to down, but I do think there's a point after 8 movies or what he's made, you go, dude, you got to either take a break or go totally crazy and make something
Or
different.
edit. Hire someone whose job is just to edit
Well, the
all
thing
of
is,
your
I feel like-
narcissism.
I feel like Reservoir Dogs, there were people telling him no on some things, and that's what
that movie's so badass.
Yeah, and with Tarantino, the same thing happened with Lucas. When you have that full control over things, and you don't have like an editor being like, or an exec, someone at the top being like, no, this is too long. It's like in episode 1 is awful for Star Wars because Lucas no one would tell him anything different.
Oh, episode the second movies, the prequels,
And the prequels, they're awful. They're terrible movies because Lucas had all the control.
and seemed to be written like an 11-year-old. Everybody was
Like the Fast and Furious movies written by an 11-year-old.
yeah, yes, they
Have
are.
we already talked about the new Star Wars? Don't think we
brand
did,
new
did
one?
we? We went to that one.
I
liked it a lot.
I liked it a lot. It was good.
It exceeded my expectations. They didn't mess up.
Yeah. Do you like it?
I was more disturbed by Carrie Fisher. I think it's sort of like the rape scene
She
in
talks, but her
Deliverance.
face doesn't move.
And she's been smoking for 82 years.
She actually fit.
Hey, Hans. I was like, whoa.
She actually fit into. She looks like she should be a waitress at the Mos Eisley bar now.
Yeah.
She does. She actually looks like that now.
Want some blue milk, hon?
Like every little girl wanted to be her and put their hair in those buns, and now, holy crap.
Smoking
Every
prescription medication, and psychotherapy.
Oh, and prior to that, this is our 4-movie run your 4-movie run that I've been forced to tag along. Prior to that, what did we see?
Don't I get to count some of all the Hallmark movies?
What's his name? The Bond guy, James Bond.
That was the worst Bond movie I've seen in a long
That movie
time.
was a straight up nightmare.
Was
They
not
should be
great.
ashamed. At
Did
one
you-
point, I actually
How many guys wrote it? Did 9 guys
Like,
write that movie?
They just passed the script around too many times. There's no consistency. And it's unfortunate because I love Christoph Waltz a lot, and I think he would have made
what a
it.
waste in that
What a
movie.
waste. Yeah,
He's
exactly.
great.
Whereas Skyfall was so... I think Bond has this weird habit of going every other. Like Casino Royale was good, then Quantum of Solace was terrible, then Skyfall was really good, and now Spectre was really awful. So maybe the next one will be really good.
Yeah.
Because they're already doing a next one.
I just want Idris Elba to play Bond. Can we make that
I
happen?
want him. Yes.
He's not- I
He
don't
said.
think he's Bond.
Somebody
He said no
I
one's
was
offered it to
reading.
him yet.
He would be a killer Bond.
Oh, yeah.
Did you watch
He'd
the
have
new
to get in
Luther?
shape.
Not
Yeah,
yet. Oh, I
man.
forgot. Oh.
He'd have to get in shape, man. Come
He
on.
is in great
we,
shape.
No, we just
Did you watch Beasts of No Nation?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
He's
Yeah,
in great shape.
Oh,
in
he's a
that.
great actor. In that movie, he's heavy in that movie. No, he's not.
You've lost
He's
your
not in
mind.
good shape. You've lost your mind. You just love Idris Elba.
You've mostly lost your mind.
And so my point is this. the 80s killed movies for a long time. And now with all these Avenger films and all the DC comic movies and the 35th Batman movie, we've now got to this place where nobody in this country is willing to challenge themselves. Even The Revenant. We went to The Revenant. There was like 4 people in it. And I think it's just another reflection of how stupid America is.
Turns out every movie for the next 2 weeks wasn't sold out.
Yeah. Ray calls me and she goes, "This is crazy. This movie's selling out. Every seat's taken."
I
And she
checked
goes,
every theater in town, every showing for the next 2 weeks, and I thought that the red seats were the sold out,
No.
and then the gray ones were open, and really it was the opposite.
And I go, wow, my God! Ryan said it was good, but man, if the fetus was talking, is it
Get
that
us in
good?
there.
I get us
I
in
was
there.
like,
We'll
"I'm
go whatever.
trying."
I said it was good. I don't think it was a great movie.
And then she goes,
We're gonna have to sit in the front row on the far right.
I got it flipped. There's plenty of seats. It's like literally.
It's a good movie with great cinematography and great performances.
The
But-
Revenant.
Yeah, but the story,
So,
What story?
it's based off a true story. That actually happened.
it actually
The
happened.
story
Dude,
is 3 lines long. Man leads people but fails. Man gets
wasn't-
attacked
he wasn't leading.
and kills a bear.
I mean, had he not been killed by
Man
that bear, I think
avenges
he would have led
son's
them
death
pretty
like
fine.
an idiot. That's it. That was the whole. They turned that into the
It's just
studio.
revenge. Killed by a bear that left to die. They kill his son, and he wants revenge. It's
So-
his line.
See, 3
So
lines.
I would say the kind of movie that you're thinking. I think Ex Machina is the kind of movie that you're talking about.
We like that.
That was really
the one
good.
With the machine, but the guy in the.
I slept.
Oh, so good.
That's how bad she hates movies. When I see one go to movies, she's like, "Oh, I get a rest." That's what she's.
Some actually during was it? Oh, James Bond. I actually flipped up the armrest on the back row and laid down. I was just thought,
Just laid
if
on
this,
my lap. I was
are
like-
you serious? There's another hour. Talking about editing problems. There's another hour of this where he's basically making love to a child. That was gross. That the age difference. I'm all about an age difference, but that was just rapey.
What was really great about the beginning of that movie is the woman that was the first woman that got killed. I thought that's good.
Yeah,
his
she was-
age,
yeah.
she's hot. It's
Yeah.
his age. It's gonna be.
Yep.
When they do a sex scene, it's gonna be hot because
Yep.
she's got that gravitas.
Yep.
And then it
No.
was all of a sudden they had basically. I kept waiting for Chris Hansen to show
The
up
Mickey Mouse.
and
Club.
just go. Mr. Bond, James Bond, we've got your inner emails to this young girl.
I didn't say anything to her. Actually, didn't. I'm not here to have sex with her.
Can I have a cookie?
No, and then I love when he reads the transcripts. It says here that you want to put your penis into her ear hole
Those are code words.
and swizzle.
Spy code
I'm a
words.
spy. I'm just saying. So in the '90s came back with 7. We had a few movies that were that level of great.
Fight
Jurassic
Club.
Park.
Fight Club,
Was Fight Club 90s or 2000s?
Jurassic
90s,
Park,
96.
Jurassic Park. I thought the new Jurassic Park was pretty good. It scared me
okay.
a little bit. I thought it was pretty good. But we've seen. Here's what we've seen too much of. We've seen too much of everything now.
Well-
Like we've had space creatures and we have real dinosaurs and we have all this shit and you can't. And
What about
story.
Titanic?
Titanic was pretty good.
Hollywood's just afraid to take risks on original ideas. That's why we have so many rehashes.
But even television, we're
Same
just,
thing.
We're killing. We're slowly killing. It's actually a dumbing down. Everybody expects a certain story now. Even now, if you go off Sixth Sense aside, you go. So every once in a while, there's a movie you go, "Wow, that was a great twist." But once you've done that twist, then it's over. You can't. You have to find
Yeah.
a new twist. I just think people are doing movies to do movies now. They're not trying to push the envelope at all. And if they do push the envelope, they don't give a shit about entertaining. I also don't believe the bullshit of Revenant of going up. Okay, it was such a big thing that they went up, man. They went up to the Antarctic, whatever, and they shot the movie in -40. Fuck you, really? You don't need it. You could have shot that movie exactly how it is, literally exactly how it is in the Sierras.
Except you would have had to act.
You had instead of actually being cold, you'd have to go on your own.
I can do it.
I mean, do you know what I'm
could get the
saying?
part.
They spent an extra, $100 million?
There's an artistic integrity there that they were trying. I'm just kind of.
There's a narcissistic director who actually
Yes.
wanted to do what he wanted to do, and I get it. I'm going to do this. I'm doing this movie. There's some things that people have said you should cut this out of the script, and I go.
Well, I mean, you could feasibly. I mean, you don't want to, but you could feasibly all that stuff with disabled actors. Just hire non-disabled actors to play disabled actors, but you won't do that, and that's fine
Well,
because you're doing something for the community.
Yeah, no, no. I don't
Why
mind.
do you sound drunk when you say community?
Because I am drunk
judicial
right now.
community.
I'm drunk every day when I do
The
this job.
judicial community, literally.
Is Bill Cosby drunk all the time? He is now.
Yeah, that's trying to say those three words hammered. You couldn't do it.
Judicial
Community,
community,
literally.
Literally is a weird one.
Yeah,
literally.
Literally. You know,
Especially if you're
when you're
Asian.
drunk, when you just go, ah.
I've never done that.
I have. I've got the hammer to where I was trying to say a word and literally, you know what I mean. Committed
That's what I was just
my
trying to
dad
think
committed so I don't think you need all this weird stuff that they talk about. Like when I read, they were talking about, oh my God, he took it. They only use natural light. They shot an hour a day. As a guy who's been on sets and a guy who's worked, I was like, do you know if you did your job like that, your normal job like that, dude? I'm a roofer, but I got to tell you, man. The nails got to be imported from Italy. I got to have these imported nails because it won't be right. I'm only going to use any tar paper that came from natural tar paper mines. It have to be done. Can be some sort of weird South African tar paper mine, and that's the only way I'm going to make this roof. Fuck.
Sounds like you just quoted a Kardashian. An episode of the Kardashians.
But you're fired.
Was there only 1 hour a day?
They said
Some days
the light was so bad because they were up so far north that they only had an hour.
As an actor, that would suck. Like, think about how much longer that would drag your work time out, and then you have 23 hours of basic darkness the rest of the time.
They went over schedule by like 6 months and like $100 million
and
over budget.
They had to stay up there.
$100 million over budget.
So I might not be wrong on that number. It's
I would be
something
depressed.
I thought it was like $160 they spent on the movie.
Oh man, they went way over budget. I know that.
And it's
over
all
schedule.
it's all because. And by the way, it wasn't okay to just go okay. We because they lost snow at one point. They went back after Christmas vacation. It got warm and where they were shooting.
Well, they were in Canada.
Yeah.
And there wasn't enough snow, so they went to Argentina.
They shot part of it in Canada,
Or
and
not
then,
Argentina,
and
somewhere
then they
else.
went back after Christmas break,
Yeah.
and it would melted. So they had to go instead of just going. You know what? The Sierras are pounding with snow. Let's go there. They had to go find Argentina because it had to be far enough away from civilization for the director. And the director is brilliant. The opening scene, the attack scene
It's
by
phenomenal.
the Indians, is one of the most amazing things.
Yeah.
I mean, I kept thinking, how are they doing this? Because
It's all one take too.
It's not. It is. It looks like one
Yeah, yeah.
take.
Well, it's
but
not, obviously. It's made to look like a oneer.
What they did was really cool. What they did, they ran the camera around it, and then there's a point where they go to water, and you can see the edit. I was looking for
Oh,
it.
yeah.
You can see the edit, but it's just bubbles in the water, and it just kind of blends, and then it goes back up again. It's really brilliant. But I would say that it's just jerking off. At one point, do it. I guess I'm too blue collar.
Maybe.
Do a good job. Don't overspend your budget, and do everything you can to make it work. But maybe then, if special unit works, and they go, we want to do special unit 2, I'll be like, I will have an airplane on set at all times. A helicopter will be waiting. There better be some sort of meat tray in the helicopter. I would like a helicopter waitress, and then I will be shooting the entire movie from the helicopter.
You won't do that.
No, I won't. I'm too scared. I'm just saying. What movies do you like? What movies do you like?
We covered that.
No, you said 7 and
What
5
are
Club.
your top 5?
7 and 5
You said
Club.
you have a top 5. Deliverance isn't in there
It's
anywhere.
definitely not in
Yeah,
there.
what's your top 5?
Yeah, we get delivered.
I don't know. I can't remember movies like 7 right off
Club?
the top. Fight Club, Pulp Fiction,
That's not a bad top 3.
No, that's a good top 3.
It's not a bad top 3.
All Things Valentine.
Mildly
that
obvious.
was on Hallmark last night. No.
You know, it's a mildly it's a non-geek top 3. Whenever I talk movies with some super movie geek, I'm looking at Fetus right now.
Oh,
And
okay.
he'll bring up some weird movie like that didn't make any money, and I go, no. It has to be. I think a great movie does everything that Fight Club does, and everything that the movie she just said did. Pulp Fiction
My
does.
top 3 are very different.
And also are very, 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 very marketable. Pulp Fiction is the craziest movie, and yet it is such a good movie. Anyone I've taken to see that, I don't want to watch this crap. They're blown away every time.
It changed.
very
It
good.
was shocking. I remember being just like blown away when I saw it because
Really
I had
good plot
never seen
structure.
anything like it before. I also, this is maybe not in my top 5, but it is a good comedy movie that stands out to me is Bridesmaids. That's something I can watch Bridesmaids over and over, and I laugh every time at Melissa McCarthy.
It's a good movie.
And Kristen Wiig, they had great actors in it.
Now, I would say in comedies that would be up there, but when is a great comedy?
Caddyshack. Oh,
Yeah.
Caddyshack's my all-time favorite comedy.
Yeah, Caddyshack's great.
I'm looking
It's
at
in my top 10.
movies. Inception. I'm looking at the last decade. Gravity.
Inception,
Gravity.
I would-
You loved.
I have a list.
I would say Inception. You know, Inception, Gravity, Interstellar's good, but not over the top.
Interstellar also pissed me off. That movie. I was so mad when that was over.
I liked it. I had to
It's-
explain it.
You didn't have to explain it. I got it, and I thought it was stupid. I shouldn't have to work to understand.
No Country for Old Men.
That was a great movie. That was
Really good.
one I really enjoyed.
There Will Be Blood was great, but man, just shaved a little bit of my soul.
There
off.
Will
Yeah,
Be
it's
Blood.
that's
Shaved-
designed.
no.
Yeah,
Shaved a little
it's
bit
like
of
they
my
took a
soul
cheese grater on
There
your
Will
soul.
Be Blood. No.
Why?
No.
Why? Too
That movie was awful, and the music. Whoever
amazing.
scored that movie, like seriously, stabbed me in the ear hole with an ice pick.
I would agree with these. Dark Knight, District 9, Inception, not sure, Django. I wouldn't say Django was a great movie. In some ways Django to me is a little bit, although the first scene with Waltz is amazing.
I'm just picking selects
Yeah.
from different years there.
From
Night-
my younger days,
Nightcrawler, we both like Nightcrawler.
We did.
Nightcrawler's
He-
so good.
I
He
would
was
say
great in that.
Yeah.
There's another movie, Gyllenhaal. If you guys see this movie, there's a movie called
Prisoners.
No,
Is that it? Oh.
no, the
Prisoners
one
was so
before
good.
that when he was in the box the whole time.
Oh,
He
yeah.
kept- the one with the
Oh,
train.
yeah, that was great.
That I
can't remember that
Here's
one.
how good that Jake Gyllenhaal moves. I remember we were on the road. I was doing comedy, and I rented that movie. I watched it. I let the credits run out, and I was like, "Damn, I watched." And then the next day, I paid for it again on the Spectravision thing to watch it again. That was such a great movie.
When I was in high school, I thought Glory was an awesome movie. I loved that movie.
Yeah.
It's good.
I like that movie. That does what it does. That movie made a point and was really immensely entertaining. That's what I think some of the independent films don't do. They're either hard. Some of them are hard to watch. They're taking you to this weird place. You have to have this balance, and I think in the 80s they gave up making a point and just became entertaining.
When Juno
That's
came
when the
out, I
80s
thought Juno was killer. Actually,
Juno was
everyone
great.
stood
Juno was
up in the
good.
theater and applauded.
That whole indie genre, Safety Not Guaranteed, is another one which is really good.
But a great indie movie, great movie. And then those directors never do that again because they
well,
don't have to make
Juno
those movies
came
anymore.
out, and then for the next 5 years,
Yep.
everyone copied it, but
Yeah.
not well.
Yes.
You know, it had already been done. We'd already seen it. It was time to move on.
Are you a fan of Wes Anderson movies? Because he's very unique and does something
Yeah,
very
but
different. I know that's not your kind
No,
of movie, but his movies are very good.
Dry. I'm like more of a wet thing. I want it moving and funny. But
Yeah.
Wes Anderson.
He's got a style. He's an auteur.
But it's that awkward humor that you say you don't like. It's, you
I like somewhat. Like I thought Grand Budapest Hotel was a great movie.
Yeah. I thought the title sucked.
Meet the
can't even watch it.
Parents was good when it first came out, and then everybody copied that too.
true.
Speaking of awkward comedy, Ben Stiller did really well. He made awkward comedy not awkward to watch. Everyone after that, it was like it was uncomfortable to watch.
Zoolander. I mean,
Ugh,
Ben
I don't
Stiller
like
is the
Zoolander.
king of making awkward comedy hilarious. Ben Stiller is probably one.
What about I like Tropic
I
Thunder?
would say Ben Stiller is a king of his genre.
Yeah.
Tropic Thunder was, I would say, great comedy, great lifetime. I could watch Tropic Thunder 12 years from now, 15 years from now. Tropic Thunder, I will put in one of my top movies. If I had to pick 5, I would put Tropic Thunder in my top 5. If I have to pick a comedy, that movie made me
I've
laugh.
never actually seen it.
Dude, you have to watch. Okay, so her brother, not a big Ben Stiller
Mm-hmm.
fan, not a big. He likes comedies, but he didn't.
He hates awkward comedy. He says.
Me too. Me too. I
It's-
can't
He
really watch The Office.
It's not
loves
awkward.
this movie.
It is so funny. It is so funny. Fetus, you got to watch it.
He
Tropic Thunder.
actually parodies movies, war movies, throughout the film.
But it's like they took on. It's like they were filming Apocalypse Now with this really dumb, narcissistic actor, which I just described them pretty much.
Isn't
90% of
Robert
actors.
Downey Jr. in that movie too?
Robert Downey Jr. plays a black man.
He's a
What?
he's
How'd
a
they get away with
dude.
that?
You don't know
Wait,
that?
What is it? I'm a dude playing another dude,
acting like another dude.
playing a dude.
Yeah. You.
Oh my god!
No, he's a black guy the whole movie.
What?
Yes.
He's a
Pump
but
your
he-
brakes, boy.
He's an Australian guy in blackface the whole movie.
How did they? Get...
He's an Australian. Here's the thing. He is Robert Downey Jr. playing an Australian actor who's playing a black guy in the movie.
In the movie. God. And
The Tropic Thunder is the movie they're shooting, right?
Tropic Thunder's a movie. That
Yeah, it's a
Yes.
movie
I
within a
can't.
movie.
How do you not know? How do you film student not know Tropic Thunder? It's
I know them.
crazy.
I've just never seen it. I've seen Hot Tub Time Machine.
I will fire you. You're fired off special unit until you watch Tropic Thunder. You're
Yeah, it's
fired.
great.
Is that okay with you?
It's good.
Uh,
Tell
you're-
him he's fired.
You fired.
Don't.
Yeah.
No, you're
You don't
need
have the
me.
job. Nope, you don't have the job until
There are
you
more
watch
important
Tropic
things
Thunder.
for me to do than watch Tropic Thunder right now.
No, we are doing a comedy.
Oh, boy.
Special unit is coming, and you will watch Tropic Thunder.
Oh, I watched the other guys last night. Doesn't that get me close?
There's also a surprise. There's also a surprise in it. The guy, the executive, you have to
Don't
figure
tell
out.
him.
who it
Don't
is.
tell
I'm not
me.
gonna say- dude. It is over the top. You will the actor. You may not respect him, right? But once you watch Tropic Thunder, he got all my respect back.
Me
after that.
too. Whole
And
new
no matter
level.
how nutty he is, I thought,
And
wow.
I didn't realize who it was. I couldn't figure it out, and finally you got it first.
Yeah. Chris, do you think you'll go see the new Coen Brothers movie, Hail Caesar?
I thought that looked mildly interesting.
Yeah, because Clooney sometimes is the best when he goes nuts.
Clooney
It looks
playing
like-
Clooney.
He
but
looks like he's having a blast, and I think
everyone looks like they're having a blast. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
It sounds
Yeah.
like everyone's having a good time on that movie.
Yeah, so I will probably go see that. I just want to say, if you're going to make a movie, and that's what we want to do, special unit. Look, special unit's coming up, and again, although we sound like we're know-it-alls because everybody who's seen a movie thinks they know how to make movies, just let me tell you something. Making movies is hard. Making a shitty movie is hard, which we're in the middle of right now. So far, we're making a shitty movie. We're not. I'm not going to let it be. But right now, we're having trouble across
Well,
the
we're
board.
not making it yet. It's not physically being filmed
No,
yet.
we start in a couple
So
weeks. We start
right.
filming in a couple weeks. I'm scared out of my mind
No, you're not.
because of him.
You're
and
excited.
you're right.
Don't pin that
I'm not
your fear
scared.
on me.
I'm excited. I'm excited. All the extra work I'm doing I'm so excited.
No.
Yay.
Yeah, see, he didn't argue,
Yay.
did he? But we special unit, due to the Fairness and Disabilities Act, the LAPD has to hire 4 handicapped undercover detectives, and I play the worst cop in LA. What?
Donate button.
Don't hit button.
Oh, you can go to the website, ChristopherTitus.com,
Oh,
to
they're trying to-
donate
they
to
were
Special Unit.
They were signaling. All right, guys. So we're up against our budget. We're modified low budget. We have no budget. If you want to be part of this movie, go to the ChristopherTitus.com website. You can donate. We've already got people donated. We raised some money on Fund Anything, and we also people will keep donating. You'll be listed in the credits. Your name will be in the credits. I promise. And it won't be tiny. Someone else did a Fund Anything movie, and I saw the credits, and literally
It was
used
Adam, right?
They used a 2 font on it. I don't know. It wasn't that? No, it was Adam. It was that guy. It was the other guy that did. What was the guy that did? He did his first one, the New Jersey movie.
I
Garden
vaguely
State.
remember seeing
Garden
this.
State, and the second one he did.
was it?
Zach Braff.
Zach
Braff, and then by the way, and then you got the second one financed to Fund Anything, and then the credits were so tiny. I'm like,
Yeah, but so many people donated.
that is true. Yeah, we won't have that.
It's hard. Yeah, yours will be in 72-point font.
Yeah, because it'll be you and 4 other people.
No. So anyway, this episode brought to you by Harry's. We've been talking about movies, but now on to Harry's, harrys.com. Go to harrys.com, use promo code Titus. You get $5 off your first order.
And you get like a razor, and you get 3 blades, and you get some shaving cream or gel, right? You get
You
a
get
pick.
to pick. Yep.
So I'm in Costco the other day, and because now I have Harry's razors, I used to buy the Mach 3 25 pack, which is like $50 for blade, just for blades.
Yeah.
And I would go in, and I went to Costco, and I picked it up, and I put it back down because I realized I had a Harry's razor that I loved.
So
I
you
didn't
always
even
talk
buy it.
about this, and I know that people, a lot of people think that we're just full of crap and we're just promoting this product or whatever.
Well,
but
we're
we
off-
have turned down a lot of
We are
advertisers.
full of crap, but we are not. We are not full
about
of crap
Harry's.
about
So
Harry's.
this chick wrote in yesterday and said that she got it for her husband for Christmas, and he ran out because that starter set it came with the 3 blades,
yeah.
and he freaked out. And so she said, I actually just got off the internet from Harrys.com signing him up because then they just deliver it. It's free shipping. They deliver it to your house and you don't ever have to think about it again or do anything. And she said that he freaked out. So she went and got him the
because
blade
the shave,
subscription.
I think, is there 5 blades in it?
Yes.
It's 5 blades in it, and it ripped.
German engineered.
I have never felt a closer shave. And I use, I when my old blade gets older, I use it on my taint, and it doesn't cut me.
What?
What'd you say? What'd you think I
Your
said?
taint Harry.
My taint ain't hairy. Taint hairy.
Worst character ever. Worst
He's English,
superhero
though.
ever.
Hello, taint hairy. Eh? Right.
We're gonna get another letter.
So you want to get shave it close? Yeah, you're right. When the blade gets old, use it on your taint. Don't use a new one on your taint because you might shave enough nut off. All right. We should call it notaries.com because they ain't now.
Yeah, don't put the 5 blades near your taint until you've softened it up a bit.
No.
Anyway, so you guys know Harry's doesn't usually discount because really, honestly, their prices are super low anyway. But they're doing this special offer for Titus podcast listeners. You get $5 off your first order. Promo code Titus. Stop overpaying,
people.
man.
Do it. You will not be unhappy. I've had a lot of people say because look, there's so much advertising. I get it. You want to hear someone else talking about crap. I'm telling you. You guys know. Look, if I rip my family apart on stage, I'm not going to lie to you about some stupid razor because these guys are great. All right. So you don't have any. So you couldn't even list 5 movies that you love unless they were a Hallmark channel.
No. Okay, let's just clear that up because you keep bringing that up.
Quote, I hate movies. That's your quote.
I strongly dislike
you,
and I think it's because you keep taking me to crap, and I have way too
I
much
take you to
do.
the best. I take you to the best movies that are
I have
out.
way too much to do to sit for 3 hours. Give me a break.
Yeah, no, I will
we
say
get
that.
it. You love yourself. Now let's move on, director person. We all know how much you think of you. Congratulations on your self-esteem. I got shit to do.
So
hour and a half. That's a standard length for a movie. I'll give you an hour 42 if you're crushing it.
No. There's 2 movies that we took you to see. No, 2. I can deal with a 2-hour movie if it's great. Ray, the 2 movies, Revenant and
Hateful Eight.
and Hateful Eight were 187 minutes, right? Hateful Eight's 187 minutes. Do you know how long that is?
And Bond.
That's 3 hours and 7 minutes.
They actually gave you an intermission where it flashed on the screen and people left to go tinkle.
Some of them had a kidney transplant. It was so long. Some people had actually gotten cancer.
Dialysis.
Yeah, some people had gotten cancer and had to have a tumor removed during intermission because the movie was so long. And again, if your movie is the best movie ever, Apocalypse Now, the long director's cut, still drags it out, and it's one of the best movies of all time.
Yeah, if you're crushing it, but get some friends. Get some realistic, non-ass-kissy friends that'll just go, yeah, no, that's too long. It sucks.
That doesn't
Don't
happen.
do that.
When you're famous, it doesn't happen.
Well, it's too bad. But that's my point. But again, if Bridesmaids comes up, I'll watch Bridesmaids again, and I don't get tired of it. We laugh. We still quote. We were with my brother on tour last weekend, and we were quoting Tropic Thunder to each other. My brother actually did the "I'm a dude playing a dude," and we were
Playing
laughing.
another dude.
You never go full retard or whatever. We still quote stuff from that movie. Good movie. But this stuff, what do you remember from Revenant? We're not going to meet my brother on tour and go, except maybe we will now.
Now we will because it's funny.
By the way, on tour next weekend, we're going to be on the 11th, Thursday, in Wichita, Kansas at the Crown Uptown Theater. On the 12th, which is Friday, we're going to be back in Lincoln, Nebraska at the Rococo Theater. And then Saturday, Fargo Theater in Fargo,
North Dakota. You know what we're going to be saying? So cold. We're idiots. We booked this midwinter theater tour in Lincoln, Nebraska.
We went to Minneapolis in January.
That is true. You know what? I have some coats that I like. I look good, at least I look good in my warm coats.
Well, finally we get to wear them.
This weekend, tonight, tomorrow night, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I'll be at the Irvine Improv. Bombshell. You got to see Bombshell, man. Houston, you destroyed last week. Here's the thing with comedy. You work as a comic. You start out, you have jokes. You tell your jokes. They get laughs. Then you spend a year doing that. You think you suck for like another year. You work really hard, and you're just getting better slowly. Bombshell hit something last week that you have these breakthrough plateaus, like with any kind of, whether sports, drawing, playing guitar, you have these breakthroughs where all of a sudden things become easier. I want you to know that last week you crossed a line to I would go pay to go see you. It was really good. You were really good last week.
Dressed as a pilgrim.
Yeah, that's right.
Or doing comedy.
Welcome to the pilgrimage. All right, cinnamon.
One pump peppermint coming to the stage.
And now, from sea to shiny sea, continent to continent, and sometimes space, it's Bombshell Rae with the Bombshell News.
Give it up for me.
Yay!
A Florida man uses his wife's head as a mop after a sandwich fight. Boy, if I had a
He cut off her
nickel.
head with a sandwich?
No.
They had a sandwich fight? What kind of sandwich? Was it a katana sandwich? What kind of sandwich was that?
No. Authorities have said that an argument over a peanut butter and
Sharp
jelly
cheddar.
sandwich and milk ended up with the man being arrested because he was accused of using his wife as a mop. Keith Davidson.
Oh, she wasn't dead.
No, 46
Oh, I thought he
years
cut
old.
off her head and used it as a
He was arrested for battery. She said she went to grab the peanut butter. She hit the milk. The milk fell on the floor. He got mad. He picked her up, turned her upside down, and tried to use her as a mop. He was so mad because she spilled the milk.
Wow. You know, I get mad over things sometimes. And sometimes I'm not nice what I say. But,
He was teaching
you know,
her.
you're so tall, too. You could really reach some good, like
It's
some high
actually-
places. If I use a mop, we could get the cobwebs out of the ceiling.
All
Very
natural,
tall.
vegan, no GMO, no unnatural substances imported from China. He's teaching her how to do, all natural house cleaning.
Right. But
Use what you have.
So she's gluten-free is what you're saying.
She's gluten-free.
Very nice.
She's got no chemical additives or preservatives, no paint on the handle that might make her sick. She's non-toxic,
I like that.
except she's from Florida, so she's probably very toxic.
Yeah, she's definitely going to make somebody sick. All right, next story.
This has been caught on tape. A man shoots out of a truck like a rocket and survives. Did
I
you
saw
see
this. I saw this. It's phenomenal.
It's a dash cam video. It captures this man being ejected like a rocket from a rolling pickup truck. It's a single car
Somewhere
crash
in Mexico.
Brazil.
Brazil, that's right.
It's Brazil.
I know it was third world, man. This is what it's so great to watch this. This dude goes out, survives.
Only had a broken leg.
It's one of the nastiest wrecks I've ever seen. The truck, he's in the air like 22 feet in the air, and the truck is rolling under him. And it looks like the truck comes down on him because he lands behind the truck, but it doesn't. I guess he made it. Phenomenal. Great. Now, what are you thinking at that point? Because they're drunk. They were drunk. He went to pass somebody. The next thing you know, the truck went sideways. He say, "Hey, man, why don't you pass this guy?" You know, someone say, "Hey, dude, just go around this guy."
It's the near-death experience of the week. I just think that I totally tuned out. And I just tried to rejoin the conversation. I'm sorry.
What were you doing, looking at your iPad?
Pulling up the next story because you've become a little story Nazi as you're like, next story. And I'm like, So my iPad was glitching, so I tuned out.
Are you watching it? Are you watching the Fetus get on
Because
mic?
I'm having
I want Fetus to describe
I'm
this.
having anxiety, workplace anxiety because of you.
Well, you should.
So
we don't. If you and you're the HR department, so it's even weirder.
So there's this dash cam, and then out of nowhere, a truck just barrel rolls into the middle of the road, starts barrel rolling, flipping across, and the guy launches out like a rag doll.
Yeah, he launches out like someone flicked him with like you put like pudding on a spoon and flip it across the room. Imagine a human being. Imagine the truck being the spoon spinning like crazy, and he goes in there and he just starts flipping. I thought I watched it and I couldn't believe that the guy survived. But what a great story!
I also want to know, the truck comes in at the side. Like, how did the truck end up in that particular
They
situation?
were drunk. Their alcohol was involved. I read about that, and you could see the truck. Obviously, someone said, "Man, why don't you pass this guy?" That's what happened. And they went around and they got the front wheel hooked. And it's so great. You guys got to look up this video.
Even better than that.
Next story.
Oh my gosh. See what I mean?
I'm just saying.
Stressful work environment. Hostile. This is hostile
Hostile, the movie.
work environment.
Everybody says that when they work with me.
Yeah.
What?
A tux. So Ashley Cashman, our Deuce correspondent, sent this in, and she...
Deuce correspondent Ashley Casham update.
Cashman. Not
That's what I said.
Cassim.
Cashman. That's what I said.
You said Cassim. See, he agrees with me. See? Look, he's getting ballsy, too.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, probably not. She said that this is like when she pulls up stories like this, she always thinks this is going to be the day that her boss decides to check her computer.
No.
There's a new tuxedo out.
Yeah?
It's a tux tailored for your penis. It's one size fits all, which probably is presumptuous.
What is there a picture of the penis tux?
Just based on my field research, I'm going to say that's not going to work. One size fits all.
Does it come with a bow tie?
And you've done a lot of research.
Not a lot, but I was a scientist in my early to mid 20s.
Is that what you call it?
There was sampling, and there was
Scientist?
there was a control. And
Hypotheses.
I had many hypotheses discussed over lunch with other girls.
So you had a control group. You had your own
Control
control
group,
group,
of
Peer
course.
reviewed.
and then you were peer reviewed, and then you actually had meetings.
Compare and contrast.
Yeah, right. You had other. You
Giggle.
got the data from other scientists.
Bunsen burners, lots
Other
of Bunsen
scientists wearing
burners.
vagina dresses.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Thank you. Anyway, Lilo.com, it's a Stockholm-based sex products company, is making this one-size-fits-all tuxedo. They say, quote, on their website, this slips comfortably behind the male undercarriage. What is that?
I don't like it being called an undercarriage.
That
It's
total
weird.
stolen
weird.
from Bridesmaids,
Yeah.
Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah.
Feel the heat coming off my undercarriage. That was our
With her
favorite
leg in
part.
the air, like Melissa McCarthy. I didn't realize she could put her leg over her head. Craziness.
She was awesome. Anyway, so they were trying to do some kind of intimate apparel for men, but the website says the penis tux took a life of its own. It's $29.95. So for anyone that
It's not
wants
bad
it
for a
for
tux.
Valentine's Day, seriously, women expect you to dress up for Valentine's Day, and this is just a whole new level. Use your Harry's razor, then slip on this Lilo.com tuxedo.
Are we sponsored by them?
I have to say, do
No.
women, wouldn't you just burst out laughing as a woman if a guy took his pant off and he had a tux on his penis? Wouldn't you just be like, what?
Maybe, but not as far as you know before you buy it. Give us something to laugh at.
Yeah, great.
A man named Bill is quoted on the website saying he felt like James Bond, and he would recommend this to anyone. Jacqueline says tuxedos
Wow.
on men is my Achilles heel, and I just had to get this for my husband.
Wow, this is the weirdest. Those are the Yelp reviews of it.
Yes.
I felt like James
The penis
Bond.
tux.
Any quotes from penises?
No, but that would
we
be
would
awesome.
need some.
Schlong.
I'm
James
interested
Schlong.
to hear. Nudists have been protesting a ban since they have been told by Huntington Beach City that they cannot any longer attend the Huntington Beach City gym. Their names are
'cause they're nudists.
Naturists in the OC.
Ugh.
They have quietly rented the Huntington Beach City Gym and Pool for private gatherings where they swim and play volleyball and basketball. Obviously, they're naked. City manager has now signed a regulation prohibiting them from the facility and others that like to be naked.
But they're renting it. But they're not walking into the gym naked. They're renting the gym.
Yeah, but the exposure unreasonably interferes, this is a quote, with city employees' abilities to perform their responsibilities. What?
I feel awkward. I can't do my work.
I will say this. So whenever you think of nudists and you think nude beach, you think these nudist colonies, you always think a bunch of like a bunch of ripped abs, six-pack dudes and a bunch of hot models running around, right?
That's not my concern.
It is so never that. Every time I've seen nudist pictures or video, it is it's like the dude you see who's so fat that his shirt can't tuck in. Same guy.
Everyone in the picture is over 55.
Yeah, and boobs
Stone.
look like
Over
eggs.
55
Look
eggs and socks.
Eggs and socks, man. That's what it looks like. It looks like, and nobody nudists. It's just a weird thing. It's like you never see sexy nudists. You know, you just never. They're just always bleh, bleh. Yeah, good. Phil the roofer is now taking his clothes off. Oh,
So
I'm
sad.
so hot.
Most of us aren't looking for sexy nudists.
I'm
But
not
I
look-
appreciate that you're on a quest, like I was in my 20s.
I didn't say I was. I'm saying that nudist. It would be. Whenever you think nude beach, you're like, all right, and you go to
It's
nude beach.
never
It's just.
hot.
It's like 55-year-old.
A lot of
women.
this sound blah, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah.
pebbly butts and just bleh.
Steer.
Lot of
Total
sag.
steer.
Lot
Total
of sag.
steer. Mute your
Like,
mic. Mute the
someone's got-
mic. You've made 3 not funny jokes.
Someone's
Mute
got-
until you're asked to come back.
Someone's got cottage cheese in there. It looks like they had they're naked, but it looks like they have pockets full of cottage cheese. That's bad. That's not good. What?
See what I mean? See how it's done? Pay attention, fetus. Pockets full of cottage cheese.
Naked, but you look like you have pockets full of cottage cheese.
I like that you repeated it.
I know, because I wanted to teach him. I got to teach him again. It's like an
Can't
assignment.
teach comedy.
Yeah. All right. Next one.
Oh my
Next
God.
story.
Oh my gosh.
Do it.
This story is awesome. Ashley sent this in. This is for you for sure. Husband secretly divorced his wife after the wedding, right after the wedding, to protect the assets.
Wait a minute. Can you do that? Doesn't she have to sign too?
They were married for 20 years, raised a son, and lived in New York and France. He was obviously very wealthy.
And obviously a raging scumbag.
He had secretly divorced her months after their wedding in an apparent attempt to shield his assets. Now his wife, or ex-wife, Christina Vila, 59 years old, is suing her 90-year-old, he knew why she married him, husband Gabriel Villa, to nullify the divorce that she never knew about. She's trying to stop him from selling an apartment they shared. This guy's going to die in the middle of this, though. This is not any kind of life. He should have just stayed married. She was obviously waiting until he died.
Yeah. Oh, she also. Okay, so here's the thing. So when they got married, they've been married 20 years? Mm-hmm. So he was 70, she was 30?
Ooh.
Okay, so here's the thing. If she stayed
She
with
was
the
39. He was 70. Ugh.
dude... Yeah, right? It didn't get any better at all. It didn't get,
She taught Italian literature at
What-
Boston College
what
when
I
they
will
met. So she worked.
If you still, let's say she was a gold digger.
She said it was love at
gold
first
digger.
sight. Well, she paid her dues. She paid her dues.
That's what I'm saying. If you
Because
stay
naked, he looked like...
naked, he looked like he had pockets full of cottage cheese. Or even a weird old bony man ass.
They had a son. They had a kid.
Like those guys get that weird color of white that's almost blue.
Ugh.
It's like a light blue white. Yeah.
Ugh, and
Yeah.
veiny.
I'm getting there.
She said she still loves him. She says that it's still a great love somehow. He's been ill. She stayed by his side in the hospital. She raised his son.
Why is he trying to? What a dickhead.
He now has told Dominican authorities that life with her was unbearable.
For 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yet he divorced her months after and could have ended it at any time. Actually, it doesn't make any sense at all. You could have ended it at any time, douchebag, because you actually. And now you're saying because she wants her peace because you're about to die, and you're about to die with that on your head. Is he gonna die with being a dickhead to the woman that was with your bony cottage cheese pocket filled ass for 20 years? You scumbag! I don't understand. People wonder why people are like, why relationships don't work? Because people are assholes. That's why relationships don't work. Don't be an asshole.
She says that she has no recollection of giving authorization to proceed with a divorce or even thinking about it. They had just been married a couple months before. She said if it was given, she was either, this is a quote from the court papers, surreptitiously impaired, drugged, or misled. I mean, you would probably remember being that drugged. So I'm guessing he told her, unless she had a drug problem.
Forged it.
He forged it,
Yeah.
or he told her, now that we're married, you got to sign this, so that you can get all my money if something happens to
And
me.
just
Here's
kept
my will.
signing.
Sign here. That's how I would do it.
What?
When I thought about it.
Hey.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I divorced you right after we got married.
I'm never signing anything again now that you've heard this story. I'm so screwed.
I will say this. I would never divorce you. You're the best thing that's ever happened to me.
I wouldn't divorce you either, but I would kill you.
Okay, that's the
Next
podcast.
story.
That's the podcast for today. We're going to end on a death threat from the lovely wife. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. I want to go over a couple things. Follow us on Twitter at Titus Nation, at Ray Bradley. Fetus, what's yours?
At the Ryan Farmer.
At the Ryan Farmer. Follow me on Facebook, The Real Christopher Titus. If you guys want to get any DVDs, go to ChristopherTitus.com. We've got six of them. Working on the 7th. That'll be out probably end of maybe summer. Also, do me a favor. Make the Christopher Titus podcast page your front page, because then you click to the Amazon link when you're buying something, and you can help keep the doors open to the damn podcast. And review us on iTunes, because if you review the podcast on iTunes, what happens?
A maxi pad gets its wings.
There you go. We have special times. Also, guys, thanks for helping. The people that donated to us special unit already, thank you. It's put into the special unit account.
And you
it's
know what?
going to make the movie.
This
Thank you.
just came into my head, just randomly. We're not sponsored by them, but honestly, if you're anywhere stopped in your life in any way, you're not in a job you love, you're not in a relationship you love, you feel unhappy, you struggle with depression, whatever it is, if you're stopped anywhere in your expression, whatever it is, go to landmarkeducation.com and check it out. Don't waste time. Trust me. My friend Amber just took it, and she said to me, why didn't you tell me about this sooner? And I said, I did. I told you a year ago. And she was like, shit. It is amazing. You want just a revolution in your life? Why not try it? Just see what happens. It can't hurt, right? I just want to throw that out there.
So
non-religious, non-political.
In 1994, my dad and I weren't talking. We hated each other's guts. I was sucking at my job. Comedy, I was doing lame-ass comedy. And I took the Landmark Forum because my buddy, who's an amazing doctor back east in Chicago in the Midwest, he asked me to do it. And I did it. And in the next 3 years after it, for the next year, I wrote Norman Rockwell's Bleeding, which changed my entire career. Then I stood for doing the TV show Titus, changed my entire career. And then it changed everything. And to this day, I mean, by the way, guys, I didn't go to college, and we're doing a movie. So there's no evidence for that. The only evidence I have, I learned how to do it.
I started doing comedy after I took it. But I will say this, more importantly, this is hard to say. I don't even know where this all came from. But
Yeah,
I cleared everything with my mother, and I did not have a relationship with her. And I thought that was the way that it had to be. I just said, well, that's how she is, and blah, blah, blah. And a lot of people feel that way about their parents. I don't talk to my parents. Like, well, what are you doing? I didn't have a relationship with my mom. My mom and I became best friends. And inside of during that time of us being best friends, my mom got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. So what a blessing I was given because I took this course. Just wanted to throw that out there.
And my dad died. We were best friends for the last 5 years of his life because of the Landmark Forum.
Do it.
All right, guys. Titus Podcast. I don't know why you went on that tangent, but
I don't either. It actually, I just went to drink water. It actually was just placed on my heart, like just in that second. I haven't been thinking about it. It's just crazy, and it just popped into my head like I was supposed to say it.
And we don't even get any advertising.
Nothing.
Yeah, we get nothing
except people writing in and telling us, "Holy crap!"
Right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I will see you guys next week. Christopher Titus, for myself, the Bombshell, and Ryan. Later.
Peace out.
See ya. It's good, Fetus. He's nailed it. He's finally nailed it. It only took us, what?
That he's good at.
3 months? Yeah.
We'll start from there. That's a springboard.
Are we going to teach him
for
jokes?
his training?
Joke writing next?
He doesn't want that.
You know what? Oh, he's not. I think he's crying.